welcome back to Anything Alexia. My name's Alexia, and today we're going to be watching another true story animation. And that story is called I Have a Secret Pool Room? What does this mean? I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and find out. But before we start today's video, I need you all to smash that like button, smash that like button, smash that like button. And if you want to join our amazing family, all you gotta do, hit that subscribe button, turn on all post notifications, and then you won't miss any more videos. Also, don't forget to follow me on my Instagram right down here. And let's get started in the video.
When everyone had left school, I crept cautiously to the janitor's pantry. I needed to get there soon.
Sir, you're going to the janitor's pantry? I don't think you're gonna find any chocolate chip cookies in there. More likely you're gonna find some Windex and those scrubby brushes that you used to clean the toilet. I mean, if you like eating those, then go ahead. But don't actually eat them because they're not edible. I won't make you very sick. Or even go oof. Yikes.
He finally came out, and I immediately darted into the pantry and pushed the cabinet aside. It was heavy and wouldn't budge. Come on. The door opened behind the cabinet. Once inside, I found myself in my secret room. This was a small room with a window that looked out on the school pool. In the evenings, my beloved Mia came here to swim, and I was watching her. Well, secretly, of course. I didn't dare tell her how I felt.
Okay, first this dude's looking for poop flavors cookies, and now he's got a secret room to spy on his beloved Mia? Oh man, family, we're in for a treat with this video. Cause I think this dude's a little crazy.
She probably thought I was a sad nerd. We had been friends since childhood, but when Mia's dad died, she gradually drifted away from me. Because of this, I threw myself into my studies. But I continued to love her and watch her from afar. A splash of water brought me back from my memories. Mia was already in the pool, and suddenly, what was it? Mia's lovely skin on her arms and back was covered in bruises. Who did this to her? Mia got out of the water, wrapped a towel around herself, and went to the locker room. And without thinking, I ran after her. We might not be friends anymore, but I wouldn't let anyone hurt Mia. Mia was gone. I immediately took off in the direction of her house. It was not far from the school. As a child, we often played there. I hesitated for a long time near the high fence, afraid to ring the bell.
And now Mia's got blue bruises on her arms? Are you sure those are bruises? Or is it just blueberry stains on your secret room's window from all the blueberry donuts you eat all the time? I mean, you do go in that janitor's closet pretty often. You're bound to found a couple snacks or two.
Suddenly, a terrible scream was heard from her house. I froze. It was Mia's voice. She needed help. I ran along the fence to the back gate. Damn, it was locked. Then I quietly climbed over it into the courtyard and abruptly jumped down. Gathering my strength, I ducked down and climbed into the front garden right under the living room windows. There were sobs from the house. "Fred, don't touch her!" I cautiously leaned out of my hiding place and saw Mia's mom in tears. Oh my god. She was the one who told Fred not to touch his daughter. Suddenly, I accidentally dropped the flower pot from the windowsill. Heck, I quickly ducked into a nearby bush. A formidable man leaned out of the window, a belt in his hand. It was Mia's stepfather, Fred. He married Mia's mom a year after her father died.
That dude don't look too nice. You think he's mad at his wife and stepdaughter? Or do you think that he's just mad because he's bald? Because at this point, I think it could be either.
Was he beating up Mia? Fred looked around the yard for the source of the noise. If he saw me, I was screwed. But then Mia screamed again, and Fred immediately moved away from the window. My mouth went dry with horror. I needed to call the police and save Mia before it was too late. I ran around the corner of the house and called the cops. This comeback belonged behind bars. Soon the police arrived. Fred would finally go to jail. From around the corner, I saw him open the door for them with a casual air. The cops saw him, lined up, and saluted. Wait, what was going on? I was shocked. Fred was the boss of these cops. Then I heard him say, "I think someone's on the grounds."
What? No! The mean stepdad Fred is actually a policeman! Aren't police supposed to be good people and helping people from trouble, not putting them in trouble? That's just wrong. He might be putting people behind bars every day, but I think the only person who belongs behind bars is him. Cause if he gave Mia those bruises on her arm, he's a criminal.
He asked the cops to check the surrounding area and the house. I was in panic. I had to get out of here before I was spotted. I spent the entire evening thinking about how to help Mia. The police was on the side of her stepfather. How to resist them? Offering Mia help wasn't an option either. She would ask me how I knew about the bruises. And then what? I was not going to admit to spying on her. But I couldn't do anything either. I had to convince Mia to trust me. The next day, I wanted to go over to Mia and talk to her, but after school, her stepfather was waiting for her at the gate. He grabbed her roughly by the arm and hissed something. My stomach turned. Suddenly, without expecting it, I called out to Fred. Fred gave me a withering look and asked me what I wanted. With a trembling voice, I began to mumble something about a biology project. Mia and I needed to pass it tomorrow. Fred frowned but let go of Mia. If she doesn't come home in an hour, you're finished.
Oh, you're finished. That don't sound too good. What do you think he means by you're finished? If you don't bring Mia home after an hour, you're finished as in I'm gonna hurt you? Or if you don't bring Mia back within an hour, I'm gonna make you bald just like me. Then you'll feel real pain. The same pain I feel every day when I wake up and feel that gust of wind brush through my shiny forehead. That's real sadness.
He added menacingly and left. Mia didn't understand because there was no project, but I said I would explain everything later. In awkward silence, I led Mia to the pool and we sat on the edge. And how would I start a conversation? I looked down and suddenly I noticed a bruise on Mia's shoulder. It made my chest tighten. Mia caught my eye and quickly adjusted her sleeve. No, I couldn't do that anymore. I gathered my thoughts and stammered out that we used to communicate so well, but for several years, Mia was not like herself. I carefully looked into her eyes and breathed out, "Why don't you want to trust me?" After that, Mia looked me in the eye and suddenly promised to tell me everything, provided that I don't do anything about it. I swallowed nervously and agreed, hoping I could change Mia's mind later. Then she began the story. When their stepfather Fred came into the family, he completely shielded Mia and her mother from the outside world and forbade them to communicate with other people. And if Mia and her mother complained to someone, they would be in trouble. Through her tears, Mia whispered that she had long wanted a normal life, without fear and pain, that is. She always dreamed of becoming a swimmer, but now she can only swim after class, when nobody would see her bruises. Her words hurt me. Fred would pay for everything. Even though I promised not to do anything, I had to save Mia. I thought frantically about what to do. I needed proof. Without it, the cops would justify Fred again. That was the only way I could put Fred in jail.
I'm sorry, but is it just me, or does anybody else find it kind of funny that every time he's thinking real hard, he's always stretching? Oh man, I just wish I could help Mia. What could I do to make it better? If I could only mush Fred up like a mashed potato, it would take that look off of his smug, bald head. Ugh.
I blurted out that I would take a video of Fred's treatment of their family. After such comprising material, he would definitely not get away. Mia looked at me gratefully. Her eyes were so beautiful. We only talked for 10 minutes, but Fred had already started calling Mia and yelling at her to be home in 5 minutes.
Oh no.
The biology project was too long. In a hurry, we agreed to text each other. An hour later, we had a plan in mind. Mia would provoke Fred that evening, and I would film the whole thing so that I could later hand it over to the cops. At exactly 7 o'clock in the evening, I went to Mia's house. I crept up to the gate and gently pushed it open. Mia left it open, but the door creaked treacherously. Damn you. But the courtyard was quiet. I crept to the kitchen window and peered carefully inside. Mia had a quiet dinner with her mom and Fred, who sat with his back to the window. My hands were shaking with fear, but I told myself to be brave, only for Mia. Then she noticed me, picked up a glass of milk, and looked at me uncertainly. I nodded at her and pointed the camera at Fred. A second later, I heard shards of glass flying all over the kitchen. At that same moment, Fred abruptly got up from the table. I turned on the camera. I needed to film everything. Mia's mom blocked Fred's way, but he pushed her away with a growl. I'm the boss here. Fred was a real monster. I held back my temper.
Dude, you ain't no boss. Maybe in Mr. Potato Head land, but in this world, you're just a coward. Oh yeah, and a criminal. And a bad person, and mean and rude, and just a terrible person. You know what I mean?
I held back my temper, trying not to rush to defend Mia. But this video was needed to save her. Then Fred swung, and Mia squeezed her eyes shut, and no, don't you dare touch her, you freak! I hit the glass with all my might. At that same moment, everyone turned around. What are you doing here? And with a camera? Fred growled. And he moved straight at me. I froze in horror. But Mia ran out of the house and already grabbed my arm. We ran as fast as we could. But suddenly, headlights appeared in the distance, and Mia panicked. It was her stepfather's car. What should we do? And then it hit me. My secret room. He would find us there for sure. I immediately grabbed Mia's hand and we ran across the yards of the school. This was the only place we would be safe. We ran into the school, but her stepfather was already close. Mia, hurry up! The thought of what he might do to us made me feel hot.
Oh man, dude, you finally saved Mia, and now you're gonna ruin it all by showing her how much of a creep you are for having that secret weird room of yours. Once she finds out that you're a creepy peeping Tom, I think she might like her stepdad better than you, cause both of y'all are weird.
I made a sharp turn at the corner and immediately dragged Mia into the pantry. She resisted. He'll definitely find us here, but I shushed her. Trust me. Fred's heavy footsteps could be heard in the hallway. My heart was pounding with fear. Quickly pushing the cabinet aside, we ran into the secret room. And then Fred went into the pantry. My heart skipped a beat. We could hear him walking slowly around the room, and then he stopped. Did he really notice the passage? But her stepfather quickly left, and I breathed out a sigh of relief. We went to the window and saw Fred by the pool, looking for us all over the place. Mia asked softly what kind of room it was. Damn. Mia deserved to know the truth. I looked Mia in the eye and hesitantly admitted that I was watching her from here.
Oh no, dude! You had to say something, huh? Well, here we go. Let's see what Mia says. Cause I don't think it's gonna be a, oh wow, that's so cool. More like, oh wow, didn't know you were a fool. And a creep. Can't forget about creep.
I looked Mia in the eye and hesitantly admitted that I was watching her from here. And realizing that her stepfather was mocking her, I called the cops. I didn't know he was in charge. Mia stared at me in silence for a while, and then suddenly screamed that it was all my fault. After the cops arrived, Fred became even more violent. I tried to say that I wanted to save her, but suddenly there was a knock on the window. Oh my god, Fred heard us! Fred had already grabbed a chair, swinging at the mirror that covered the window of the secret room. He was going to get us. I looked at the terrified Mia, imagining how much he'd been through with this tyrant. And then I was furious. You won't touch her again, you freak! I grabbed Mia's shoulders. You have to film everything. She tried to stop me, but I took one last look at her and ran out of the room. I went out to the pool and shouted, "Hey Fred!" Fred turned slowly. My heart sank.
Uh-oh.
Then he threw back the chair, shouted angrily, and ran at me. I tried to dodge, but Fred grabbed me and started choking me. My vision began to blur. Was this the end? With the last of my strength, I pushed Fred, and he tripped over the edge and fell into the water. I immediately ran away and shouted, "Mia, you gotta run!" We ran out of the school together. Mia gave me the phone. The video was taken. With tears in her eyes, she whispered, "You are my hero. These worms warmed my heart." But I had to give the video to the police as soon as possible. We drove to the police station on the outskirts where Fred certainly didn't have the power. On the way, I kept peering into the darkness, afraid to see Fred's car.
Why are you stretching still? Like, come on, bro. This is a serious situation. I know you're trying to get those gains, but I'm sure the squats and lunges can wait. Dang.
Even at the police station, Mia was afraid to talk, but I took her hand and told her that I would tell them what happened. The cops seeing the dirt told Mia that she had a very brave boyfriend.
Man, how can the cops see the thing on the iPhone with those dark black sunglasses he's wearing inside? Apparently the dude can see night vision. Does that make him an animal? Or a little bug type of thing? Should we be investigating him instead of the stepdad Fred? Because that's kind of weird. Just saying.
I was confused. Before, I couldn't even answer the hooligans, but now I was a brave guy who saved his beloved girl. A couple of hours later, Fred was detained. He said that he would come back for Mia and show her who was in charge of their family. A chill ran down my spine, and Mia suddenly snuggled up to me. For the first time, I was not afraid and hugged her, kissing the top of her head. "He will never hurt you again, because I will always be right here for you."
Aww. And just like that, the ways of the mean stepdad ended and a new love story began. Kind of warms your heart now, doesn't it? But anyways, family, that is all of the true story animation that I have for you today. If you liked today's video, don't forget to smash that like button. And if you want to join our amazing family, all you gotta do is hit that subscribe button, turn on all post notifications, so then you won't miss any of our videos. Also, don't forget to go follow me on my Instagram right down there. I love you all so much. And I'll see you all in the next video.